Hi. The Jewish Bible, which was later adopted by Christians, says in a number of passages that we came from dust, and in due time we will go back to be dust again. This points to the cyclic and periodic nature of life. The first forms of humanity, the first stages of humanity were not quite physical. We only became fully physical in the episode of the fall from paradise. Then we became made of dust. But we are not only dust. We are a precarious, being physical, we are a precarious combination of dust or soil or matter, dense matter, and the spiritual light. The spiritual light from, let us say, a star. The star, our star, the star in us, and that part of us that belongs to the star is, let us say, a sort of undescribable divinity. Next to the absolute. It's better not to try to speak too much about it or to describe it in words, because it is beyond every logical process. It's beyond thinking. We can feel it, but the moment we try to talk about it or discuss it, we fall from paradise into neuroses, discussions, struggle for power, and so that. No, the star is this. No, the star is that. No, the divinity is this. The divinity is that. This is rubbish. The absolute being is better not to be described. But we have the divine light, the law of compassion. Jacob's ladder, in its descending aspect, reveals the universal embracing matter and creating life. Life is a precarious combination between the eternal and the passing, the eternal light and the, let us say, not quite eternal dust and matter. In fact, matter is also eternal, but the arrangements that combine matter and spirit, these are passing. So, in order to understand ourselves, we must know that it is not so simple to say that we came from dust and will be back to dust. Because, quoting the Bible, this time the Christian Bible, Christ is in each one of us. And Christ is supposed to be eternal. So we have dust, which is always fragile, precarious, possible to die, possible to be killed, okay, and condemned to disappearance. We have dust, we are a combination of dust and the eternal aspect of unlimited wisdom. So we are antakarana. Antakarana means between two causes, between two levels of cause. We are this combination of earth and sky, earth and heaven. A very precarious thing. We are Jacob's ladder. Okay, the ladder between heaven and earth. We are a microcosmos. We combine in ourselves everything that is sacred and that it is not sacred, and in between all the intermediate factors. The question is, before we come back to dust, we have a chance to understand our divine nature, to understand the divine nature in us, to understand Christ and Buddha, the eternal principle dwelling in one's heart. That's the challenge for us. In theosophy, this is called discipleship. In Christianity, this is called following the path of the cross, or following Jesus Christ in the struggle to be a perfected man. This is Christianity. And from the point of view of theosophy, a perfected man is an adept or a Mahatma or an immortal sage, to use the expression of Taoists, the immortals. So the moment a soul, and these are very few, the moment a soul liberates itself from dust and still is in the dust but does not belong to the dust anymore, then you have potentially a master of the wisdom, if such a being will accept disciples. If not, he will be just a sage who got rid of the non-paradise nature of humanity. He is an inhabitant of the paradise. He does not need to be in physical life. He transcends his own physical body, in spite of the fact that he has a physical body. But he has a physical body just as an instrument for him to work for the best in terms of humankind, to work for the good of mankind. And then you have the great saints of Christianity, the great sages of Eastern traditions, and so on. So there are no reason for any tensions or wars or competitions between Western spiritual traditions like Judaism and Christianity on one hand, and Eastern traditions like Confucianism, Buddhism, and so on. There's no reason for envy, competition, mutual accusations, and so on. Once each one of these traditions has the necessary humbleness to accept criticism in an honest way and correct its own mistakes, each one and everyone will see the common wisdom that is present in every true philosophy and true religion, and the outward forms of ritualism, blind belief, bureaucratic organization of religions, and so on. So we must transcend the dust in our religiosities in order to be one with the eternal light, which may be called Christ, Buddha, Confucius, whatever. The Tao is important, or the Tao. And every religion has its own connection to the divine that is beyond words. Just as we are a connection to that level of our own souls that is beyond words and that is in unity with all aspects of our own life and in unity with all aspects of the universal light.